Cool.
Alright, we ready to get started?
Let me just get your actual game audio playing. Alright. And also, let me go ahead and read out this donation real quick.
Go right ahead.
It is $60 from our good friend Orlin, who just ran Kirby Squeak Squad. Says, gotta love Cupid.
Yeah,
Good-
shouts to the Cupids.
Good luck on Meta Nightmare Returns, guest.
Thank you very much, Orlin.
I agree. Good luck, sir, and I am ready to turn it over to you. So give me a countdown and
Alright.
good luck.
Alright, so we're beginning on race timing here, which is at this screen. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so Meta Knight has quite a few moves. In this game primarily, the best one would be Shuttle Loop. It's the best for mobility and getting around places, and we're using it right now. It's a very technical move. I'll go ahead and explain quite a few ways as I go through the run here. The bottom screen, you're going to see a little point counter. Meta Knight can get up to 50 points, and you can use various special abilities with those points. Right now we're just using our Shuttle Loop here. By the way, Shuttle Loop is an invincible move. So much like Meta Knight's dash attack in Meta Nightmare Ultra, if you're familiar with that game, it's going to be heavily abused. It also does the most damage, so it's going to be good for beating bosses, mobility, everything pretty much. Your Swiss Army knife move. As you notice right now, the timer is stopped. The timer stops in various points of this game, loading through doors, going on warp stars, and during some boss cutscenes. So, interestingly enough, between new 3DS and 3DS, there are different loading times for this game. So, in-game time is very good at mitigating the inaccuracies of regular RTA for this game. That's our buddy Waddle Dee. It's pretty helpful. He throws out 8 points every time we find him. There's very few healing items in this game, and there are no code cubes or Robobot suits. Quickly though, I'm just going to go over Planky Woods here. Just going to Shuttle Loop in the corner after taking damage a couple of times. And he is no more. So yeah, that was that boss. Meta Knight is pretty powerful. At the door 103, 104, that's a good time. Just gonna go through this area. Right here we would get a code cube if we were Kirby, but Meta Knight does not have to get those in this game mode. Those essentially unlock other areas. Right now we're just going across some warps. Oh, yeah, you can miss that one sometimes if you're too quick. We're just going to go over the bottom screen again. When you're seeing Meta Knight glow with blue rings around him, I'm using an ability called Meta Quick. It doubles your speed and allows you to go much faster. You have to get 8 points in order to use it. Another thing is the points I mentioned earlier. By the way, I just went through that enemy with a wing flap. There's a lot of stuff going on and it's kind of hard to keep up with. Skip this train cutscene here. But yeah, points you get from defeating enemies. Large enemies usually give 3, ability enemies 2, and small enemies 1. And 18 points will let you do a move that damages enemies on screen. 35 is another move like that. I'll explain those later. But Metaquick is pretty important just for movement overall. Fourth ability is healing. We should not use that in the run at all. And I think that every time I do so, I'm probably going to donate $10. It should not be used at all, though. Anyway, we got 1 point from that enemy instead of 2. It would normally give out 2, however this game is kind of a jerk with doors. If you go through the door too quickly, then it's not going to allow you to get the points that you need sometimes. It's not really a good explanation, but it was good enough. Warp star here. That enemy jump higher, so I had to do an extra shuttle loop to get the points from him. Missing out on certain enemies in this game is bad because you'll just not have the points you need to defeat other enemies, or just go fast, because not going meta quick speeds is just very slow. It's not worth it at all. And I'm just gonna go up this tower here. And the storyline of this game, this is invading alien company, led by President Haltman and his assistant Susie, that are trying to take over Dreamland. And it's up to Kirby to stop him, but not in this mode. It's up to Meta Knight to go through all the levels and such. It's a very good section right there. So now we have a puzzle, and we are going to fail it intentionally. And that will put us in an area that's further on. If we were to go through the puzzle normally, it would just waste time. It would get us more points, but it would waste time. And that's another part of the balance of this game. Gaining points versus losing time. So, like, the routing for this game is extremely interesting and very dynamic. It always has something that's being changed, actually. Even just recently, we had a point reroute, and it caused me to get a new PB just the other day. Best recorded time for this game is 46:30, but the one of our members here in chat, Morbid Pyro, has apparently claimed that 45 is possible and showed that 46:04 on his end is possible. Not having 3DS recording equipment is pretty hard, though, so yeah. Just gonna go for a hard shuttle loop here. Oh, got it. That saves a second and a half, believe it or not, but I missed the other one, so. Now we're just gonna shuttle loop here a few times. Defeat these enemies. We're gonna have about 50 points here. That's our maximum. We're gonna see if we get any of these large caboos out of the way. And we did, but we did so too early, so we couldn't use an extra meta quick. Just gonna go through them normally. And this, you can still climb in these grates Mario World style, by the way, but it's slow. Shuttle looping and dash attacks are still the fastest way to get around in this game. And yep, that's music from, I believe, another Kirby game here. Slipped the mind which one, but yeah. Oh wait, no, Kirby's Air Ride, Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, one of the mini games there. Anyway, this is a boss, and this is our move, Meta Nightmares. Costs 35 points, does a full on-screen nuke, freezes the timer for the whole duration. That was a little move that kind of looked like Link's Skyward Sword Strike. What that is I'm holding the up button on the circle pad here. By the way, there's fast falling in this game too, which I just did there. It's kind of hard to pull off in other situations. I'm using the D-pad for that to make it easier. But yeah, Meta Knight holds the sword up for about a second, and it allows him to charge a beam that he can shoot halfway across the screen and do damage. Then we gotta fight Clanky Woods again here. Do a dive. That's a Condor dive, that move is called. And I'm serious, that's the actual name of the move. Right, that's phase 1 of Clanky. We can't actually damage him here if we were to use any of our special moves. We just gotta wait. Dive into him. And hit him with Meta Nightmares. This will leave him with 1 health. And he has to go into his third phase in order for us to proceed here. Like, no matter how much I hit him right here, just not gonna be able to defeat him. Just gonna do an up stab, and then down stab. And that's the boss. So, in-game time says we got a 5:10:29. That's not a amazing time, but it's pretty good for Marathon. Not too unhappy. The game keeps track of your splits on its own, which is really cool. And you get a little save point in between each level here. All speedruns of this game must be done RTA, that is, you have to go through each level back to back to back, and not have any breaks in between, so like you can't turn off the game and come back later on for to be an official run in our speedrun.com leaderboard. So yeah, something I didn't go over before too much. This game uses both Circle Pad Pro and D-pad movements, and I take advantage of using both in some cases. Just going through the levels here. Down step all the way to the bottom here. Fastest way to get down. And we got Waddle Dee again. Thank you, buddy. And now we're gonna hit this boss with the Galaxia's Darkness. A second. Whoops, that was kind of bad. Hitting the wall is good because it allows us to reset our movements, kind of like what we did on Clanky. Gonna get these points extra. Oh well, we missed it. Now we might get set back, and we might not have enough for a boss coming up. So we're just chaining dash attacks back to back, so when Meta Knight stops moving, we just do another dash attack up too far. Oop, that was not good. Now we're gonna go slow and lose out on points. We should be good here. So you can fly in this game, unlike Kirby who floats. So you can fly as fast as you can tap the button, but it's kind of capped at a certain level. In Meta Nightmare Ultra, it's not capped out off at all. So you can just go up really fast. And there's 2 jump buttons in that game. Whoops. And now we got another puzzle to fail. Oops. I was thinking I was in the next room before this one, but wasn't. Oh, it's not good. Want to get those. Now we're going to miss out on 3 points here. We're kind of at a deficit. We'll make them up later from a couple of extra enemies, but that's fine. Like, there's no specific number that you want to be at any given moment, point-wise. You want to be in certain ranges. Like, if you're just too low in one range, then you're just going to have no chance of making it up somehow. The range I'm at is just kind of low. It's not great. It's not horrible. So I want to slow down a little bit, get maybe a point here or there extra. Like from that put us back on track. And now we got casinos. Sonic much? Sliding is also a good way to move around, but it's not as good as it was in other 3D Kirby games like Kirby's Return to Dreamland or Triple Deluxe. But sliding is still there, and it's still useful if you can cancel it properly. And we're canceling out of our shuttle loops during the slow moments if we don't have a chance to go too far, otherwise we'd just be going slow. And now we have billiards. Or roulette, whatever you prefer. And we're going to charge our sword beam up between these. And that's the fastest way to get rid of those balls. Kirby would just have to wait for the balls if he didn't have an ability to get through those. And we have another one of these bosses, however. We're going to be needing the points coming up here for the end stage boss. So we're not going to be using the Meta Nightmares here. We're going to be saving it. I'm just going to go through some lasers here. I'm completely invincible. Like you saw there, those lasers would damage me. However, Shuttle Loop just goes through it if you know how to place it right. And now we have cars! Hopefully we don't get bad RNG. Wow, this is pretty good so far. RNG's being very nice. Oh, we got hit by 1. Darn. That was really good up until the end. Long short loop opportunity here. Where we want to be at is about 40 points by the time we meet Waddle Dee. Then we'll be fine. And we're already there, so that's good. Fast fall right here. Save a few milliseconds. Coming up right here, we got our next mini-boss. First one of its kind. It's called Dubiors. And we're gonna hit him with the Meta Nightmares. The whole squad together. There's 12 points at the end of this section. Fortunately, we can't avoid this, and we do have to collect them. They do waste time, though. And the point-time balance struggle continues. Alright, this boss is gonna look kind of familiar. I can already hear the KDL 1 players groaning. But Meta Knight makes pretty quick work of Krakow. Hello! Goodbye. Spear Doomers from Turn to Dreamland there. And we're just gonna do some condor dives into this boss, and that'll be that one. Yep, that's nice sword Meta Knight, indeed. The Rattler has nothing on this. And now the boss is going to go into a final desperation phase, and you can actually hit him below the screen if we time this right. See if I can. And we did, excellent. That was investigated by Chooch236, who figured out you could hit below the stage. He wasn't the first to do it, but he was the first to document it. So we're named after him the Chooch Special. And we're at another midpoint. We can read donations if any have come in at this time. And if not, we will just keep going on with the game here. Waddle once again with the points. Good, buddy. Once the boss's life bar is about halfway on screen, that's when he is vulnerable. That's when the boss is vulnerable, rather. Good go. Just gonna shuttle loop to the bottom here, why not? Might be faster to dash attack, but not too much faster. It's safer just shuttle loop. And yep, this is pretty much the water level. Kirby would be playing through all these levels normally. There would actually be some extra sections for Kirby with the Robobot mech. Meta Knight does not have to do that. Galaxia, the sword he's wielding, is just that strong. We can be pretty frivolous on points here. We don't have to worry about losing too many. If you notice right there, that drill took a really long time to get through the enemies. It's actually slowing down the game. The in-game timer is going at the same rate, though. So, want to avoid going into multiple enemies with the dash attack. And now we have auto-scrollers, so also a good time for donation comments or any other words that we might have about the marathon here. Okay, for this room, we're just gonna do a beam charge right here, and slash. It's the fastest way to get through it. Enemies from the background are shooting us there, but that's fine. Be hard pressed to try to get hit by that. And right here, we're just gonna go through a couple of warp stars, shuttle it between them. Little fun fact, if you dash attack through some of those laser gates, or use your up stab, it's actually gonna project part of the laser onto your sword. Little fun 3D effect. Just waiting at the edge of the screen to get on these stars as fast as possible. And use our beam right here to open up a gate. And get us more points. You can also buffer when you go into doors in this game, so you can be holding a direction and the up direction and buffer your door entry. That's actually a thing that's been in a lot of different Kirby games. This one's no different. Oh, and with Shuttle Loop here, I'm actually doing a sword swing some occasions to go down. I was actually using a shield there, which is why I just bounced backwards. But yeah, you can use a sword swing to go down faster. Mitigate some landing animation. Right here we got Candy. I didn't explain this before, but Meta Knight in the other games he was in, Ultra and Returns, he could not get candy that sped him up like so. You could candy in Nightmare and Dreamland, not in Ultra. Pretty good, typical stuff here, just moving around fast. .356 is a good time to get there. That's sub 4, and it's also fairly fast. Though it could be faster. Alright, this next section is going to primarily be underwater, so for underwater controls, they're pretty bad on circle pad. I switch over to the D-pad for just controlling Meta Knight here. Another Meta Quick. You can actually like use the X button. You don't have to use the touchscreen like in Meta Nightmare Ultra for the Meta Quick ability anymore. Yep, that was a miss. That's actually going to cost more time because of how Meta Quick works. See, it only lasts for like about 14 seconds and then it wears off. So any movement mistakes is going to compound into more time loss. And right here, we're just going through some pipes. No need to Meta Quick either. Here we will, and we'll just continue on. Gonna get into some 3DS interactive sections next. 3DS has an accelerometer built in. Ergo, we have the option of tilting to control Meta Knight, but we don't need to do that, do we? I might humble you folks and just do that for one section. Why not? Yep. There you go. It's not the only game I've ever tilted. Yep. And got in the cart there. Same controls as before tilting. It's just a missed input there. A lot of newer players to this game have problems getting the shuttle loops off. Like, it's actually kind of hard because it's a non-conventional input. It's a down, up, and then pressing the B button. And the move is pulled from Brawl, by the way, just a fun fact there. And now we have to swim through fish. This is going to be pretty difficult. We have to be fairly fast, otherwise we might get hit into the background. Oh! We'll see what happens here. It's interesting. Okay, we're good. This. Go up here. And now we're gonna skip a Waddle Dee, so we're gonna leave our buddy hanging, unfortunately. Sorry, sorry, guy. Sorry. We really don't need those points. We have just enough for the bosses here. $34 points, so normally that would be a problem. However, we'd use 2 Galaxia's Darknesses on Susie here, who is the 3rd boss. How you doing, Susie? And shuttle loops, as usual. Just gonna do this. Alright, we just hit Galaxia's Darkness there. We're gonna do so once again. It's also a reference to Brawl and other Smash games. 7:05, that's a good time. Is he just a crazy Kirby that wears a mask? That is a good question. And one will never be answered. And that was the 3rd level here. And now we're on to the desert area. Dive right there. Dang. Did not want to land there quite yet, but that's fine. And I get a couple of extra points here. Backup strats are always good. I did not expect to bonk right there. It's another section we're just going to use our dash attack well. Whoa, we just missed that enemy, that's fine. Perfectly fine. Flap to the top here. The important thing to note is that these bombers die in 1 wing flap. That is really important for the final level of the game here. Another boss, another Man of Nightmares. I personally prefer the Mach Tornado from Man of Nightmare Ultra, but this one's cool too. Alright, if you don't like Waddle Dee violence, look away now because we're going to defeat some respawning Waddle Dees. Brutal. That is going to cost time. Couple shuttle loops through this room. Nothing to it. Now we have this ninja on a pipe. He's annoying, because you have to do a spin and then jump right up to the pipe. And a lot of newer players have a hard time getting through that, I hear. Am I gonna hit this darkness? Probably. Good. Very good. Good on points. Excellent. Oops, missed the mock tornado there. Doesn't matter. Timer's paused. Well, it's true you can take a little bit of a break between these levels. We don't want you taking too much of a break on the leaderboards here. You gotta have some law, you know. This boss we're not gonna do either Meta Nightmares or Galaxia's Darkness. We had an old strategy where you would use about 8 seconds to gain 14 points here by abusing the death system. In Meta Nightmare Ultra, you lose all your points for taking a good death. Not in this game, you keep them all. But it was figured that that's actually slower in this game, so we don't do either of those. Oop. Don't get hit by the hammer. Those hammers will give you a car-like animation where you're just flying out into space. This music might sound familiar if you play Canvas Curse. And if you don't like mummy violence, we're doing another damage boosting strat right here. Look away. We would just normally have to wait for that anyway, so it's no time wasted. Nice, didn't get too many of the hammers there, that means I'm going fairly fast. They're all cycle-based. So Meta Knight, sometimes when he lands, does a little bonk animation. Sometimes he doesn't. You can actually control that by holding down or up when you land. Goodbye, Chip. Hallelujah. But you will become points for my never-ending quest to get stronger and go fast. And now we're going to use this fan to push us forward even further and get more points here. Noticing a pattern here? Should have enough to just bypass that section. There's 8 points down below us if we ever needed them, but we don't right now, so we're good. I'm getting points from Wildy this time. Good buddy. Trying to sneak away. Normally the points drop at all a set pattern, so there's no variance to it whatsoever. We're gonna need all of these for something coming up. Oh, didn't hold down. And now we have stock Meta Knight. Kirby would be fighting Meta Knight that was taken over and enhanced by technology, but not Meta Knight. He's just fighting a fake version of himself. Unlike the real version of himself, he fights in Nightmare and Dreamland. Just gonna do that, and hit him with Nightmares. You should be done. Indeed. That's a really good time.
Guest, can you go ahead and give me like a sign when you got about 60 seconds for some announcements?
Go right ahead.
All right, cool. We did receive a $30 donation from Wormtalon. It said, as a follower of the Demon Chocobo, I must support his cause. $26 towards Character 4 in FF3 as Choco. $1 each to naming the remaining ones All Hail Demon. And in the spirit of competition, $1 towards RPG Good Taste palette for Legend 3. We also had $20 from Mr. Shasta. Hi, guest. This run's been a meta sight to behold. Best of luck with the rest of it.
Thank you, Shasta. Thank you very much both for the donations there.
Yep. And then I did want to give a quick update on the schedule. We originally were going to have Knit Stories by VB coming up next. However, VB unfortunately is not able to do his run today for us. So we have asked Big Fong Balls to join us and perform some Ninja Gaiden 2. And he has kindly obliged. So coming up after Planet Robobot is going to be that spectacle. So look forward to it.
Alright. And we're going to continue on with the path here. In World Record Strats that we've recently just been working on once again. We've just kind of worked those 2 points out of the route, but we're still getting them just for marathon safety here. And we continue on with Musictopia here. That's not the official name of it. I think it's really good music in this section. Y'all should appreciate it. It's not the best. There are amazing themes in this game, let me tell you. It's a great Kirby game. We do want those points. We are quite ahead on points, that's good. Yeah. Sometimes you get stuck in the door because Meta Knight's trying to hold the sword up to charge the beam, but you don't want that. Just makes you go slow. Just kind of sit there looking dumb. And now we gotta go through some dice, because they're always set. Shouldn't have any problem going through here. Nope, didn't even get hit by that one. And now we have more roulette balls, or billiard balls, or whatever you want to call them. And then we got big balls. And they're gone. In the cannon, thank you. And we will continue our shuttle loop. Stomp through the game here. Call them pills. Yeah, that's one way. Are we gonna get there before 3? Oh, we didn't get there before 3. Drat. Now we have another puzzle to fail. They want us to go through some doors here, so we're gonna go through the wrong ones intentionally once again. Now we're gonna time this perfectly, and we'll get through this room without a problem. Excellent. You would have gotten hit by something there and been slowed down if you didn't go through that room just as I did. Now we have a level that's entirely auto-scrollers, and before you fall asleep at this point in the run, let me tell you, we can find a way to make this interesting. We have found a way to just speed up certain areas of this. Like fast falling here. And like every time you're in the foreground here, the game is going to let you go at the speed you want to. Every time you're in the background, you're going to be in an auto-scroller. Well, do once again. Why do you not have your own game yet, buddy? Here's Bonkers. You do not want to deal with Bonkers traditionally. If he gets down to half health, he'll start doing a whirlwind hammer attack, and that causes him to go in the background and foreground constantly. That's really slow. Never have that happen. We have to do something really tricky in level 6 coming up to make him not do that. And we have the strat right here. We're going to charge our sword beam, hit this teleporter. That triggers the area, and we get these 5 points, go through the door. They want you to go on the left and then go to the right, but we don't have to. Very good with that room. Sometimes if you just immediately jump and fly up there, you're gonna always bonk your head on one of those music note items. Now we have a really long auto-scroller section that's going to give us about 45 points at the end of it. So I get to show off just some really cool stuff you don't get to see in the run, either because it's slow or it's not practical. Just drifting through these blocks here. And then a nice flotational device. Just waddle around. Gonna make a cool little combo video with all the stuff that he has here. He's got so many little tricks and moves to him. Go with these points, and we continue. And we are coming up on the stage 5 boss here, which is also going to be familiar to you folks. I have a proper emote for it too, so get ready to spam. If they allow it here, I don't know. Yeah, the piano rendition of Revenge of Meta Knight there is pretty great. So this is D2D, but it's a clone of D2D. We're gonna hit with the darkness immediately. And it's gonna split off into 3 more D2Ds. Let's hit him with the beam here. Corner to deal the most damage with repeated shuttle loops. And taking damage is perfectly fine. Just damage abuse here to make sure that we are invincible as long as we need to be. Alright, it's not over yet. They get a cannon, but we have our squad. If you do that move too quickly, you're not going to be able to damage him at all. And now we have a strat that is pretty much the only time that Spin Slash will not lose time. This move normally loses time, however, when spaced perfectly between these two, it's going to make them both explode at the same time. Saved a couple of frames there. Not too much, but still helpful. Very good. Don't know what that's about. Hey, PB. Alright, we are on the final level of the game. This one's about 15 minutes in-game, so this is like a third of the run, actually. $6.55. Typical. Now we're infiltrating the invader's ship here. Really gonna start off with a meta quick and a long glide. Couple more here. Now the bombers, like I said, die in one wing flap, so that's pretty good for just farming points that we'll be needing later. And let's say hello to Security Force. Don't get tired of this boss, you'll see him 7 more times. Each one, after you defeat it, has a self-destruct kind of thing where it tries to press a button in order to blow itself up and get rid of the points it would normally give you. We have to defeat it before that. A dive attack, a spin slash, and a shuttle loop is enough to get rid of all that. And we'll take our invincibility candy and say hello to Security Force number 2. Let's go through these pipes that's that way. And now this security force is actually not going to be giving in to a Meta Nightmares anytime soon, so we have to actually damage it a little bit before hitting the move. Otherwise, it would be at like half health to go into a different desperation attack, which also wastes time. There's a little trick I'm using there. Not many people know about this, but if you hold the spin charge button, like how Meta Knight does the spin attack, I'm going to show off in a second. How Meta Knight does that attack is that he pulls the sword back. However, if you hold the button a little bit, he just pulls back to a neutral stance, so you can actually cancel your slashes very quickly. In Meta Nightmare Ultra, which is the DS game Kirby Superstar Ultra, the way you do that is just use the shield. You can't do that in this game. They patched that out, or at least they thought they did. I don't even know if they thought they did. They did patch that out. It's just the way it is. While we're going through, there's going to be a lot of auto-scrollers here, so while I'm going through, I think I should talk about the history of this game and series and whatnot, because there's 3. There's 3 Meta Nightmares. Meta Nightmare started as a little side story on Kirby Nightmare and Dreamland. And it was just like an extra mode that you got after you beat the main game. You played as Meta Knight, you had an in-game timer. From there, it went off into Meta Nightmare Ultra and Kirby Superstar Ultra, as a mode where you play through all the SNES main game modes of Superstar as Meta Knight. And it started off with a point, and in-game time, pausing, going forward, the whole ordeal with that. In between all that, you have something called D2D Tour. DDD Tour was a little mode they tried in Triple Deluxe with warps and such, and it didn't really work out well for a lot of people, so I guess they decided to go back to Meta Knight for this game. And you'll notice one character that's missing that is a playable character in the series, Waddle Dee. Waddle Dee was playable in Return to Dreamland with a permanent spear ability. He does not have his own game as of yet. So if anyone out there from Hale is watching, come on, give Waddle Dee his own game. He deserves it. Even though I did just bash DD Tour, it's fun in its own right. All Kirby games are fun in their own right. So yeah, this battery right here, it would want us to throw that into one of the containers over here, but that's not what we need. We don't really need a health refill, and it's also slow to get those, so we opt not to. The reason we're not meta-quicking right here is because it would be slow. We are not going to have enough points for the further up sections if we do so right there. So right here, we're gonna go and hit a couple of these switches here to open some doors for points. Right in the background here, Knuckle Joe is waiting for us to fight him. We'll give him a good fight, I suppose. Good fight. He was a jerk in Meta Nightmare Ultra, so that's revenge. And we have another security force. Surprise, surprise. And now we're going to go to the next section of the game here. It's like trippy cyber world right here. We're going to want to defeat as many enemies as we can at this point. These points are going to be critical. And now we have to wait for a auto-scrolling falling block section. Unfortunately, there's no way to speed this up, no way to go through walls or anything, no way to like fall faster through them, no way to glitch through them, so alas, we wait. Whoops. Whoa, whoa. Control malfunction there. Spaghetti. Darkness. Oh, no. Nightmares right there. Oops. Sometimes if you do a shuttle loop right below a platform, you'll land on top of it. Just kind of a quirk on how it works. Alright, This is the last leg. This is the last playable section that we have to go through, and the game is going to put us at all the EX levels, and those are actually extra unlockables that Kirby can play through. But the game's just going to pit us through all of those, and there's a mini boss rush at us. And we'll start this and defeat it the same way. This theme is great, by the way. Just I couldn't tell you, they use this theme for most of the levels. Actually, they use a different EX theme for most of the levels. That is this theme right here. Some like trap step Kirby music.
Can we go for a quick donation here?
Go right ahead.
It's $5 from Drumboardist a little bit ago. He says, $5 says that Bick can't pull off a sword-only Ninja Gaiden 2. Donation goes to Voligen for name choice in FF3. Screw you, Chocobos, you smell of carrots.
Alright, we got the last auto-scroller here. Well, no, second to last if you count the Clanky refight. Spoilers, but not really. So yeah, we should be able to get 50 points by the time we get out of this room. That would be the target, because we got another mini-boss rush. It's actually a little bit different than the boss rush that we've been going through. It's just a chain back-to-back of EX stages. Some of the bosses thrown into them. But we have a mini-boss rush and then a final boss rush. We started off with a Miasmaros that has double health, essentially. Moving on, we have a Bonkers. Just a regular old Bonkers, however, we don't have enough for a Meta Nightmares, so we have to trick him into attacking once, at least. And then Galaxia's Darkness. Oh no. He almost went into the move. That would have been really bad. Alright, here's a Clanky refight. What we're gonna do is the same thing we did before. Dives, shuttle loops. We're kind of low on points for a new strat that we came up with off stream here, so we're gonna hold back on that. But we are gonna defeat 2 extra Suzy bots coming up here. So this is the final area of the game. This is the final boss rush. Fight the big bad Haltman and then a couple of secret bosses. This cutscene is interesting. If you don't pause this cutscene at all or skip it, you're actually going to save time. So we're just going to wait here a little bit. Make sure we get another Suzy bot in, otherwise we're gonna have problems. Oh. See, this fight would normally be over by now, but we ended up trying to get those points just to show up the route properly. Should have 50 by here. We're gonna go with the Galaxia's Darkness immediately as the camera is panning. It's gonna look kind of freaky, but it's cool. Oh, it's on the right? I've never seen it on the right before. It must be because I delayed it. But you would skip that robot spawning completely. That was very interesting. That never happened before. Alright, we have to get at least 3 Suzy bots right here that he's shooting out. 2, 3. And now he throws money at the screen. As you should be as well. Please donate to Califire 2. And that would be Haltman. It's not over yet, though. Okay, so we're gonna skip this cutscene, but essentially, Stardream right behind us, the machine that powers Haltman, is gonna grant us a couple of wishes. That is to fight the strongest swordsman in the galaxy. So we get to fight Dark Matter from Kirby's Dream Land 2, right here. He's gonna go down fairly quickly, though. Next, we're gonna fight the boss of Triple Deluxe, Queen Sectonia. Oops, that was not the direction I thought she would be in. Okay, we gotta wait for it to go upwards. Oh, we got hit there. That was slow. There's 2 opportunities we could have killed her quicker in, but we didn't get those. Just gonna do this thing where she faces behind you each time. Beat her with the sword beam, why not? Alright, and now we have the final boss of the game. And take a guess. It's Galactonite. Alright, Galactonite in this game gets a shield where he can block whatever attacks he wants of yours. It sounds familiar, right? Really annoying, you can waste time. Once we get him down to the R in his health bar, we're gonna do something. Gonna hit him with the darkness right here. It's gonna go to the second phase. And right as it comes down, we'll hit him with nightmares. And alternating shuttle loops is the fastest way to dispatch him. And there we are. Time is coming up very soon. We call time on the location it shows your final time in-game. So, I'll tell you when. Back into the crystal you go. And time.
GG. Believe you said that
All right,
you
what
guys
are we
use
looking at?
in-game time? Or is the real time relevant for you?
Yeah, I just called time.
Yeah, no, I mean, do you guys use in-game time or real time for this?
For this we use in-game time, so what I got was a 46.53, which is amazing.
Cool.
I just set that 46.30 the other day, so I did not even predict that I would ever get this good at this game. I was just kind of going to stop at 47, but we had some competition, so I felt pretty motivated to continue. I'm really proud of this. It's a marathon run. Even
Very
some
nice.
splits. There you go. Very good. All right, that will wrap up Meta Nightmare Returns. So with that, I think we'll turn it over to Oh Dear next, or no, I think there was no, VB was next, and then there was a Ninja Gaiden game after that.
That is
falling
correct.
through.
It is
Yeah.
going to be Ninja Gaiden 2. So thank you so much for doing this run and for your previous run as well. And
Not a problem. Hope you all enjoyed. I think I'm gonna be back for one more time for Mario Land 2.
Indeed. So we'll look forward to that.
All right, folks. Enjoy the rest of Calathon. Have a good one.
All right. Whoa. Whoa. Go there. Okay. Cool. So we're going to go back to the setup screen. We're going to get ready to bring on Mr. Bic Fong Balls for Ninja Gaiden 2. Before that, I'm going to run a quick ad, and then we will get going here. So stick around, guys. Yo,
Yo.
are you live on Cal Fire 2 at the moment?
Should be.
Alright, gonna try to get to load. It was not cooperating just a second ago. Freaking beam.
It's always something, man.
It's always something. No, seriously, Beam, are you gonna frickin' do the thing?
Oh no, I can't run Ninja Gaiden 2.
Wow, this guy. I realized that my mic was going through to the stream, but yours was not, so I was carrying on a rather one-sided conversation there.
Nice.
Alright, well, while I'm waiting for this thing to work. You know, we got a $5 donation from Drumbordist challenging you that you couldn't do sword-only Ninja Gaiden 2.
Well, that challenge is correct. I definitely can't do that. What up? Hello, CFRM number 2. Fans out there, you know? I'll go ahead and match Drumbordis's $5 donation later, and then play like a wuss for charity.
I'm actually rather perturbed by not being able to get your beam stream to load. There we go, finally, jeez. That was rather annoying. Alright, cool, let me just do some cropping and then we'll be ready to go.
All right.
So I said your estimate is like 40 minutes. That should be pretty good, right?
Yes. I could probably do this game in 40 minutes. I think.
I mean, I didn't want to assume.
Let me just set up some save states just in case. That's okay in marathons, right? Just kidding.
Almost. Alright. Forget how much of the top and bottom of the screen actually get used on this, but this looks pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. There's really no good screen.
Yeah, I know. That's fine. I'll figure it out as we're going.